Hey, happy Self Care Sunday, and let's get right to it. I'm your host, Madam CJ. And let me say, happy Strategic Self Care Sunday. Happy Smell Yourself Sunday. All right, now let's get to it. I have just finished celebrating Self Care Day, which was December the 4th. And that day is a proclamation, an actual holiday in, I think, 6 cities that was created by my friend and mentor, Anana Harris Paris. In the book it comes from, which is a framework. It's called Self Care Matters, a Revolutionary's Approach. And it says a holistic guide to creating a self care plan. Now, Anana wrote this book, I think it was 2010. Let's see. And she is the first person I ever heard use that term. Okay. However, it is a term that was created by a nurse in, I want to say, the 1960s. That's neither here nor there. That information is in the book. I want to talk to you all today about my own strategic self care um, and intentional wellness lifestyle and experience. So, in a few days, next Monday, actually, I will be 50 years old. Thank you. I look really good for my age. And the thing about it is, I started my strategic self care journey in 2017. Now, some of you know my story, some of you don't. I was diagnosed with uterine fibroids in 2008. And then in 2009, I started seeking natural healing options to help me decrease estrogen, shrink the fibroids, get rid of them. Excuse me. No one said to me specifically these words: you will need to change your lifestyle. I was under the impression, or had, I guess, misconstrued, I don't know, misconstrued information, but I thought that it was going to be, I was going to do a one time detox and, these things were going to fall off my uterus, fall out of my vagina. No, that is not the case. Whenever you are diagnosed with any condition or illness or disease that is chronic or something that you have to live with, it is imperative to do a lifestyle change if you want to thrive. If you want to thrive and not only survive, right? So, anyway, I started seeking natural healing options in 2009, and I started doing the work spotty, doing the work, here and there. I had already started eating healthy or learning about, food and nutrition and organic versus all natural and plant-based and vegan and vegetarian and all these things. I had even discovered the book Eat Right for Your Blood Type, but I wasn't applying that to my life just yet. So, um, one of our mutual friends passed away in 2015, and me and Anana became closer than we were because we just used to be associates. We see each other on the dance floor. We're both dancers. Hey girl, that type of thing. So we became close after our friend Margaret Carbo died. And uh, Anana wrote this book. She had this book. She was working with this book, this framework, and she was getting her message and her movement started. So fast forward to 2017. Um, I got the book for two friends of mine. Well, actually for my sister, and then I got it for a friend of mine. And I was like, you know what? You buying these books for everybody else. You need to be focused on yourself, honey. You need to be focused on yourself because you are a woman of a certain age. You've been working on your own self transformation for a while now. Now it's time to level up. Okay. You want different things, you got to do different things. You want different results, you got to do different things. This is the conversation I'm having with myself. So I went to the Center for Black Women's Wellness and trying to get my annual reproductive health visit done because I did not have insurance. I did not have a OBGYN. I had a physician. However, she had already diagnosed me with fibroids and I hadn't been to the doctor in probably about 3-4 years, and it was time. So went to Center for Black Women's Wellness, and the nurse practitioner that performed my physical that day was trying to do a pap smear on me, and she could not get to my cervix. The fibroid was blocking the cervix. So I was devastated. However, because of my Buddhist practice, my Nichiren Buddhist practice, I knew that there were answers that I could tap into, that I could get, results that I could get. I just needed to go ahead and chant and focus on my desired result, right? So anyway, I said, let me reach out to Anana and get this book and create my own holistic care plan for myself, for my life. And reached out to her, got the book when she was selling it, herself before it went to Amazon where you can purchase it. And this is the only time I'm going to mention Amazon, buying anything from Amazon, because my sister friend's book is on there. Other than that, I am not in support of big corporations like that. And that is a strategic self-care uh, boundary that I've created for my economic self-care, because there's 6 areas of self-care: physical, spiritual, and emotional; economic self-care, which is time, money, and energy; educational self-care; social self-care; and artistic self-care. So I reached out to Nana. I got the book. I started reading the book, and I started applying what I could to my own life. So I used to wake up every day in the morning and be like, my first thought to myself, what do I have to worry about today? I would ask myself that. That's problematic in itself. So now with this framework, what I started doing was, what do I need today? What do I need to work on today? What do I need to focus on today? Because strategic self-care is addressing a critical need in one or more areas of self-care that can actually bleed over into the other areas of self-care. In my situation, that was uterine fibroids. So fast forward to 2020. No, let me go back. 2017, I got the book. My other friend, Chef Aki, she had given me the fibroid elimination diet recipe diet book that she had written. She had given me that book maybe about a year prior. So I pulled that book out and I started looking at the recipes for food, for my food planning, my meal planning, and basically creating my own physical self-care plan with resources that I already had in my possession that I was not ready to deal with, or I had taken for granted, right? Um, but this is a thing, another thing. Why do we have to learn things the hard way in order for us to make a change? So anyway, I started working with Chef Aki's book, and that year I did my own income tax, because I knew I wanted to get a yoni steam seat, because I knew that I needed to be steaming as well as eating differently and doing some things differently, and basically implementing a whole new lifestyle change, a whole new routine, if I wanted to get better and have um, or create a better lifestyle for myself. So everything that I decided to do that year for my own physical self-care and emotional and spiritual self-care actually worked. I started getting results. I started passing fibroids. I actually found a doctor, and more of my story, I'll tell more of my story as you all come more into my community. Um, or as you as I'm teaching. But I just needed to let you know what strategic self-care is, and my time is up. So if you want part 2 or part 3 or part 4, because this is going to be a 4-part video, then subscribe today, and we'll talk more about strategic self-care. Thank you so much for watching.